Okay. Oh, here comes the intro again.
Summer 1975. A nightmare awaits me. I'm being recalled to NAM-1975 headquarters. Do I have to go back to the hell again?
How many times have I won credit this so far in Switch? I don't know. Probably 7 or 8 at this point. Yeah, this is basically a Neo Geo college seminar. Professor BBH. So, this game is kind of weird because it doesn't have the Neo Geo startup jingle.
A nightmare awaits me.
Notice that like it went from the high scores like back to the demo. I think this is the only game that doesn't have the jingle. And that's why if you put it in a multi-slot cabinet like I did earlier, it wouldn't play the jingle until it reaches Baseball Stars, because Baseball Stars actually had it programmed in. I don't understand the question, Bakuman. We're playing through every game, so we gotta start from the beginning. Yeah, and there's no gameplay demo either. Like, a lot of the demos on these early games are really short. Yeah, notice when I put in a credit, like it's counting down. You can actually... Do I have a... There used to be a button swap. I guess you have to start it up as Neo Geo. The Neo Geo ROM name. Anyway, we also didn't mention that the Neo Geo has 4 buttons. This game only uses 3. C button, hero runs. And emergency control of hero, which is a roll.
Dr. R. Muckley, an ex-U.S. Army scientist, has been kidnapped by possible Northside terrorists and taken to Nam's backwoods.
I gotta keep quiet for the cutscenes.
So now we, a special force unit, have been organized to rescue him.
This is indeed the first game, yeah.
Go up the Yon River to deceive enemy guard.
So this is the first game, the first game to have a production code on the Neo Geo, and weirdly, it's also the only game of this genre that actually got released on the Neo Geo. Like, there were no other games in this genre that doesn't have an official name. Some people call them like gallery shooters. I usually call it a crosshair shooter because you're moving a dude, but you're also moving a crosshair around the screen, much like Cabal, Blood Brothers, Dynamite Duke, Dead Angle, Empire City 1931, etc., etc. Yeah, so it's a pie-ass-like. That alert's going off a lot. Thank you, the Ultimo. And so, yeah, you have A button shoots, B button throws grenades. But it's mastering the C button that's like really the key to getting good at this game. Because if you hold down the C button, you run, but you can't fire at the same time you're holding it down. And then pushing the direction makes you do this emergency roll, which makes you completely invincible when you're doing it. But it does have a fixed duration, and it's got a little bit of recovery, so you can't just like do it over and over to like spam iframes. You have to use it kind of smartly. But yeah, we didn't mention that, you know, when they made the Neo Geo, obviously all games needed to run on that standard control scheme. Although I guess a couple exceptions were made, like the irritating maze and stuff like that. But they all had to use one joystick and have 4 buttons. And I do recall reading that like one guy who worked at SNK, who I think was like the lead designer of Kari Warriors and stuff like that, didn't like the fact that, you know, SNK went all in on making stuff just for the Neo Geo, and so they had to make stuff to fit, you know, has to be controllable with just a joystick and 4 buttons. Like, they wanted to use other controls sometimes, like, you know, make a light gun game like Mechanized Attack or Beast Busters. You know, make a racing game that actually uses a steering wheel or something like that. Because sometimes the allure of arcade games is to have, you know, these fancy control schemes you can't get on the home.
New operations have been
We'll come back to this guy later. We got things to say about this. Oh, I got nothing against Neo Drift Out. I'm not talking shit about Neo Drift Out. Neo Drift Out will do pretty well, I think, when we get to it, but that's a ways off. Yeah, we'll talk about those faces later. I think I'll do that like after the game. There are some fun facts about this game. Anyway, this is the first boss. Oops. I wanted to kill the other guy first because he drops points, but that's alright. It's fine, we're not playing for score.
This is Firebird. Headquarters. Over. We've been sighted. We'll abandon boat and go through Donang City. Over. How did they know our plan?
Oh, we didn't get the random boss. So, also, like another thing they wanted to show off with the Neo Geo hardware is that, you know, you had big cartridge space. Like they first marketed it as the max 330 mega. You could have up to 330 megabits, which is like 41, 42 megabytes. And so with that extra cartridge space, you could do things like have fully voiced cutscenes that would usually, you know, take up a lot of memory. I mean, you wouldn't. That wasn't too common, but it kind of became more of a thing when like when CD hardware started showing up, like the TurboGrafx 16 CD, PC Engine CD. I was just playing some of those games on Friday, like Last Alert and Final Zone 2. But they really wanted to show off the capabilities of the Neo Geo. And obviously one of the other things that I want people to look for with all these early Neo Geo games is our old favorite. I always make it a point to point these out. Sprite scaling. Notice how like when a point item appears, like the item scales up. Whoa! The Neo Geo hardware could do sprite scaling, and they tried to work it into as many games as possible, especially in the first generation of games. I mean, it wasn't a brand new thing at the time. It'd been around in like games by like Konami and Namco were doing it in some of their hardware, but hey, they wanted to show it off, so you know, good on them. Yeah, Sega Super Scalers, of course. How do I forget that? Anyway, give me that item. I got a double crosshair. This doesn't show up very often, but it's pretty good. I do not want that flamethrower, because, you know, here's the thing about flamethrowers in video games. They're either really good or really bad. In this game, it's really bad. It does not reach stuff at the top of the screen, so I wouldn't have been able to shoot those helicopters. And for some reason, picking up that flamethrower will actually overwrite the... Wait, does it overwrite the double crosshair? There's like something that overwrites the double crosshair. Look, I had to say the thing. Come on. Yeah, we're gonna have to have flame rank masters at some point, I guess. Anyway, boss 2. This boss is kind of has some random patterns. I got the good one early. Otherwise, it does. Oh god, I'm dead. Okay, that was an unfortunate death. Those rockets did not go the way I thought they would.
Headquarters. New strategy. Contact Allied plane and invade by parachute.
That was quite the death animation. This game does have, like, a lot of frames of animation on certain things. I guess I wanted to show that off, too.
Coming in for attack.
Alright, so stage 3 is entirely on a plane. Watch those guys scale down. Whoa! Hope you're not sick of scaling yet. There's gonna be a lot of it. But yeah, this game is, it's not the longest game. It's only 6 stages. Of course, there is a a nasty surprise the game pulls on you at the very end, which most people know about by now, but we're not going to talk about it yet. we will show it off, though. Like I said, I want to make sure to show all the unique things about each game if I can remember them. Yeah, the voice acting in this game isn't professional, but I don't know. I think it's like maybe a step above like Final Zone 2 at least. Yeah, these helicopters just slamming on the brakes so they can scale out of existence. Ruh-roh. I love that face at the bottom left. Yeah, it's supposed to say Vulcan, but they translated it as Balkan. That happened in more games than you might think. Anyway, this is technically the boss, but the boss is a big-ass plane, and you can't actually kill the boss yet. I'm going to just remember where to stand here. There we go. That part's kind of annoying. Yeah, this game's gotten a few ports, you know, since its release, but at the time, this was obviously a Neo Geo exclusive. You know, released on the home cart, released on the CD, but it wasn't until like those SNK compilations and the and downloadable games became more of a thing that this game like got like any sort of like second release. Because you also have to keep in mind that like at first like SNK, you know, wanted to. They were only making Neo Geo games. They weren't like porting their games to other consoles. What they ended up doing was letting other companies like port things like the King of the Monsters games and the Fatal Fury games, which obviously we're not getting to tonight, but we'll get to those later. I gotta kill this chopper. There we go. It's got the double shot. That's very important. That part's kind of annoying. Yeah, Takara did a lot of their ports. Saurus ended up doing some porting too. I still want to do some in-depth look at Neo Geo ports, but for these streams we're just gonna be focused on the Neo Geo versions. I will look at the if the AES and the CD versions have anything noteworthy. I will look at them. Did Neo Bomberman support 4 players on the AES? For whatever reason, it did not. Even though like there were like stuff in the HUD that says like 3-player and 4-player. That's another thing I didn't mention because we haven't gotten to games that actually use it. There was a link cable that was like released that you could use to connect 2 arcade cabs for certain games, like Riding Hero and League Bowling. And that's about it. There was supposed to be a 4-player version of Kazuna Encounter. Oh yeah, you can actually link up 4 cabs in the case of like League Bowling. My bad. Also, this is the actual boss, the engine. But we'll talk about the link cable stuff when we get to games that actually have it. I originally wanted to do Riding Hero tonight, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Oh dang, RP Genius! Thank you for the big ol' raid. How's it going, Mo? Wow, it's not giving me any of the random stages. That's weird. So there's a after like all the first 4 stages, there's a random chance to get an extra boss to show up. But as far as I know, to this point, like nobody has found a way to trigger those like every single time. I was hoping to show those off, but they're they don't want to show up tonight. It's a real nightmare if you want to play for score, because you have to get all those extra bosses for the highest possible score. Also, one thing I didn't mention, you can actually rescue this lady, and she joins your side. Her name is Chris Helper. That's what it says in the manual. When your last name is Helper, you're just born to help people. She got a bouncing booty, and yeah, she's invincible. Although if you die, she runs off because she doesn't like corpses. So. Somebody at SNK definitely had a thing for big titty blondes. I wonder if that theme will be revisited at some point. I don't know, what was the first video game to have like to have booty bouncing like that? Was this one of the first? That's something to research. I think it's a little too early to be getting horny on main. Anyway. Need to be careful not to die here. I don't want to lose the helper. Those planes that fly by overhead they have a really weird hitbox. Like you usually have to shoot like the top of where the wing is, like not where the main base of the plane is. Alright, we're coming up on the 4th boss. I hope everybody's ready for one of the greatest cutscenes in video game history. This is gonna be sick. Check this shit out. You gotta shoot the helicopter first. And then... Yeah! We really want to show off scaling. That was very important.
Have been intercepted by the enemy. The field captain gave us new information and orders.
Oh, this game is so dumb. I love it.
Nancy was taken with Dr. Muckley. We went to the
and no, you can't.
factory.
You can't shoot the guy first. You have to shoot the helicopter first. Wow, I didn't get a single extra stage. Amazing. It's like it knows the camera's on. Oh well. You win this round, NAM-1975. Anyway, I haven't really been talking about the plot of the game. The Vietnam War was over, but these soldiers are called in to save this brilliant scientist and his daughter. And we still haven't found them yet. I mean, you can skip most of the cutscenes and you really don't miss much in the story, but things get a little spicy at the end of this stage, though. Yeah, Dr. Muckley, what a good name. Oh, that barrel's gonna explode. It's the exploding barrel factory. Shit. Okay. I think we're good. I don't know why this thing was installed in the factory. He's dead. I also noticed that like a lot of the enemies in this stage take 2 hits now. Like all these grunts in the first couple stages always took like 1 hit, but now they take 2. So the game does get a a little harder as you progress. I later found out that you can actually, if you change the difficulty level, it does kind of, it affects a lot of things. Like, it affects how much health everything has. It also makes the enemies, like, more aggressive. Like, if you put it at level 8, they fire at you way faster. And they'll usually take, like, 2 hits on stage 1, so... It definitely makes things a lot harder. I've been meaning to, like, see how 1CCable this game is on level 8, but it does not seem easy. But as we'll later see, some games like weren't really tested very well on higher difficulty levels. Oh, who's that? Accidentally shot her.
Oh, she is definitely Nancy Muckley.
Oh.
Oh no! Your real enemy is...
Oh, she died. We're about to find out who the real enemy was, though. Anyway, this boss is annoying. Or these bosses. The purple barrels have poison gas that like linger around on the screen for a bit. The red ones are just explosive. You can shoot the barrels before they pick them up. When I say this is average difficulty on level 4, this game is tricky. I'm biased because I've played this game a lot. I don't think it's the easiest 1cc out there. Also... Oh wait, hold on. Cutscene.
Tell us, how do you know our plan?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh wait, I know. Your communications have been intercepted because...
Because...
Enemy's commander was hit by a sniper, but we still...
That was an assault rifle, not a sniper rifle.
The laser weapon Dr. Muckley is building is near completion at the enemy camp. We went to the enemy camp, even though
They
we
forced
knew
Dr.
it was
Muckley to
dangerous.
build a laser weapon. This is not good. Easier or harder than Cabal? Definitely harder. I was gonna say, this game, like... later they standardized like most Neo Geo games to default to level 4 difficulty out of 8. This game actually defaults to level 5. There's only a few games that do that. I think Fatal Fury 1 also defaults to level 5. There's something that defaults to 3, but I don't remember what it is. Of course, this game does not display the level at the bottom screen. That's something they would add in like on later games. Yeah, you don't get a random battle after stage 5, but yeah, all the other stages didn't give me random battles. I should have made save states of those. Oh god, got hit right at the end of the iframes. Oh well. There is a sub boss in the stage that gives a 1-up, so not a problem. You know, by default you start with 3 lives. And you get extra lives at 100,000 and 200,000. And there's a 1-up on this stage, so you can have up to 6 lives. That's pretty generous. This is the only time this ship shows up, and it drops a 1-up when you kill it. Hopefully they gave you a Vulcan gun right before it, so... Easy kill. Easy life. There is a weird thing in this stage where, before the boss, it kind of, like, freezes your Vulcan ammo, so you kind of have infinite ammo. It hasn't happened yet, but it does happen eventually. Also, you get to save Chris Helper one more time. Oh yeah, the US version of Bust a Move, aka Puzzle Bobble, when that's played on a US BIOS, that always defaults to level 6, which is stupid. I'm not sure why. Like on the Euro BIOS, it always defaults to level 4, and the Japanese BIOS. There are some games where there's like small differences based on like which BIOS you run it on. That's another thing I forgot to mention. The Neo Geo has like 3 BIOS settings, either European, US, or Japanese. And usually European and US will be pretty similar. Obviously Japanese will have Japanese text. Oh, these ladies are tied up. Oh, there's Dr. Muckley, but wait.
Good luck. No one can stop me.
Surprise, he's evil. And he's got a wheelchair that fires cannonballs. And he's durable as hell. Oh, surprise number 2.
You are not the enemy for my new weapon.
The ladies were evil too. They were one of them was that sniper in the previous cutscene. And they take a lot of hits. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a save state. This is... most people will know why. But let's just go for a proper 1cc first. So there's the final boss. There's Dr. Muckley's laser weapon, which is, I guess it's firing lasers at me. That's the pew sound. This is a really weird pattern because it's firing a laser and it's also firing cannonballs. So you have to keep this little rhythm up of just like doing little dashes to dodge the laser shot, but you also have to roll and try to avoid the cannonballs. This is a tricky pattern if you've never seen it. Like, you're not gonna get this on the first try. Use some grenades too. Oh yeah, it doesn't say insert coin on second player side. It says game over now, huh? That's weird. Well, there's the proper 1cc. Put in my initials.
Operation completed. Dr. Muckley intended to destroy the world with this laser weapon.
Yeah, no shit.
Now we are called heroes. But the hell continues.
Ah, PTSD. It's great. Except they didn't actually... You know, they didn't make a sequel to this. Senior Lieutenant. And then for whatever reason, the staff role has a... I mean, there's a lot of aliases. For some reason, they put P at the end of a lot of the names. New face. Sato P, Naka P, Fuck You P, Sato P, Ishi P, Neo P. Not that many people even got to see the staff role in the first place. Well, let me just make another save state, just so I don't lose my high scores. So let's go back to that save state I had at the last boss. Also, if you die to these ladies, they pop off, which is hilarious. But anyway, like, notice it says insert coin at the top right, and then when the boss shows up, oh, game over. Okay, I'm gonna shoot this thing. Oh, I got melted. I'll throw grenades. Oh, I got skeletonized again. Oh shit, what do I do? What do I do? Oh, I'm rolling. Oh, I died. Oh well. Let me put in another credit. I'll just continue from here, because the game let me continue everywhere else. Oh. Oh. Well, now I have a credit in the machine, and I have to start over. That's, They don't tell you about this. They don't tell you about this beforehand. There's no warning that, the game is gonna cut off continues on the final boss. Like, this isn't the only game that does it. There's a handful of games that do this. Like the last stage of Time Soldiers and all that. Oh, thank you, I asked. Let me load that state again. Let's load butts.mem card. I think it's loaded. So what you can do, like if you have a memory card and you really want to see the end of this game, essentially what you have to do is, you know, reach the stage, and if you have the memory card inserted, I hope this works. I hope the memory card is actually inserted this time. Yeah, why is the guy looking all sad when the world's about to get blown up? Maybe that's before the world got blown up. So now we have the option to use our memory card. So if you come back to the cabinet and you have a memory card and you plug it in, the game will give you the option to load. And it'll start you at the last stage you reach, so you can start on stage 6. And remember, I said you get extra lives at like 100,000 and 200,000. You can definitely get 100,000 points in this stage. And there's that sub boss that actually gives you a 1-up when you kill it. So you can get up to 5 lives on the stage, like no problem if you actually learn the stage. So this was the easiest way to learn it. I kind of wonder if they did this because, like, you know, they realized that you're making the game for the home market too, and it costs $200, and you don't want people to just like continue through and finish it within like half an hour, because I believe in home console mode you automatically get unlimited continues. Did games use the memory card past 1991 or so? Pretty much every. Well, not every. Most games still had memory card support, like going to the very end of the Neo Geo. Like Shock Troopers didn't. Shock Troopers Second Squad didn't either.
Summer 1975. A nightmare awaits me.
It's a 3 continue limit on US, but unlimited on Europe or Japan. So that's another thing that kind of happened with home versions, is that the home cartridges usually had limited credits. They usually gave you a total of 4 credits on each side. And once you were out of credits, you had to start back over at the beginning. Although if you run out of credits on one side, you can start on the other. And you can kind of keep the credit going a little longer. I'm just going to go to the menu here to show that this does go up to level 8, and it defaults to level 5. I assume every bonus means you get an extra life like every 100,000. Yeah, like anybody's going to get 1.2 million on this. So if you set it to every bonus, that should in theory give you like an extra life every 10,000, which is insane. You can also change the number of lives up to 9, which would be really generous. And yeah, you can change the continue limit without, or I don't know why you would want players to only have a limited number of continues. I mean, Konami did that a lot with some of their games in the 80s, like Contra only gives you like 3 continues or whatever. Most arcades would never fuck with this, because, you know, you want people to keep putting in money, you know? If you want to see them buy into the end, you know, why not? And this is what I was talking about earlier, when you put in a credit, the game start compulsion, you can actually turn it off entirely, so when you put in a credit, it doesn't tell you, hey, pick a game. You can also make it so that, you know, game select, you can pick it without having to put a credit in. But this brings me to something that I also want to address. Let me switch this over to AES mode. So when you play on a home console,
Summer,
all those options I had in the
Muckley, an ex-US Army scientist, has been
at the beginning,
possible
they're not here.
terrorist.
When you push start, the game just starts. It just starts up immediately. So you don't have access to any of those options. You can't change the number of lives or anything. But you know, if we let's oops. Did I load it? Should be loaded. Yeah, I made butts and butt munch. I don't know why I always got to put butt in the file name. But I do not want to overwrite it. But hey, look at that! I can pick up my progress on the home game using the same memory card. I don't know why I was spending tokens to play this in the arcade when I own the $200 cartridge at home, but there you go. Yeah, fart would have been a good one too. But yeah, that's just I don't know, that's just kind of weird. Also, the other thing I really don't like about the home console, it does not save your high scores. Not that every game does save high scores, but on the actual MVS hardware, the game does save high scores. But that would never be an option with the home console version or the Neo Geo CD. Somebody did make a BIOS called Neo Score Master that is supposed to Score Master. That's supposed to save stuff, but I don't think there's a dump of that. No, I do not want to. I do not want to overwrite my stage 6 save.
Summer 1975.
So one thing. I'm not doing any co-op tonight. Sorry. So one thing we should mention before we move on. Full Metal Jacket was brought up earlier. Apparently, the movie Full Metal Jacket was a huge influence on this game. How much were memory cards back in the day? They were like what, 25, 30 bucks. And you couldn't really like. Oh, the home version has a gameplay demo too. That was not in the arcade version. I never updated the current game thing, did I? Wow, way to go, Matt. Whatever. There had to be some hitch on this stream. There had to be something I'd fuck up. What was I talking about? Yeah, Full Metal Jacket. So you know that scene from the intro? I'm not convinced. What about this guy? What about that stage 1 boss?
Summer 1975.
I see.
I'm being recalled to Non-Torn headquarters.
And you know that that lady with the big nose right before the last boss? Aha! I'm sure it's all a coincidence. I'm sure it's all a coincidence. And then somebody else discovered, this isn't quite as obvious, and it's not Full Metal Jacket, but the actual like artwork that was used on the box and the mini marquee. Apparently that's Mark Hamill. In another war movie. So, I mean, yeah, this shit kind of happened all the time. But it's still... The big red one, thank you. But it's still funny to catch these things. I wonder if Mark Hamill actually knows about this. Yeah, clearly the film director was involved.
Do I have to go back to the hell again?
Damn, why is there 500 people on the stream? Must have been that big Dino raid. Holy cow. Anyway, that's about all I have to show for NAM-1975. Oh, and the RPG Genius raid. Yeah, that was pretty good too. So now, normally this would be where we start to rank things up, but of course this is the first game. Let me just make sure. Okay, that's working. You didn't see nothing. So what we're gonna do after every game is, you know, figure out where on the list something goes. Is it above or below this? But because this is the first game, congratulations to NAM-1975, officially the best Neo Geo game ever made. I think we have learned a lot in the stream. Huge congrats to NAM-1975. I think Neo Rank Masters was a success. So, catch y'all later. I'm kidding. But we are going to, what I also want to do, when I bring up the list is to, like, try to, talk about the game's pros and cons, just to sum up the game. Because we should talk about the pros and cons of this game, just so we know where to slot it in for the next few games. So, pros, it's the only crosshair shooter on the Neo Geo. If you're into those, it's a pretty fun game. It shows off the capabilities of the Neo Geo pretty well. You got these got a lot of colors in the stages. You've got these you've got a lot of sprite scaling. You've got the most important cutscene ever made in a video game. You got these voiced cutscenes. Yeah, you got booty bouncing. You got Chris Helper's booty bouncing. If you're a fan of Full Metal Jacket, you can find some traced over sprites in this game. I think it's a good showpiece for the Neo Geo. But cons. If you're not into crosshair shooters, this game is probably not going to convince you. Control scheme takes a little getting used to. I mean, I've played the game way too much. I was able to, you know, you have to have full mastery of using the C button to run back and forth and doing diagonal down plus C to do rolls. That's a lot to expect of the average player. Most people are not going to catch on to that at first. And of course, the big con, yeah, if you just want to see the game through to the end, surprise, you get to the last boss and you can't continue. What the fuck? Like, that has enraged many people. It enraged many people back in 1990. Probably enraged people that bought the home console. I don't think they would have felt too good about having to start over from scratch. Oh yeah, that's another con. If you actually want to play this game for score, the random stages, I didn't even get to show off any of those. Still to this day, nobody has figured out how to trigger these random bonus stages. They're not even bonus stages because you can die in them. They're deadly extra stages. But I have a lot of bias for this game. I like it. Maybe you are not the biggest fan of it, but keep all that in mind when we play the other games tonight to see if this is better or worse than the other games. Sound good? Sounds good? All right. Oh, it's better than Bubsy, yes. Somebody needs to make a Neo Geo hack of Bubsy just so we can put it on the list and have that as a baseline game. Anyway, game number 2, which is NGH-002. None other